So over the last few days, I've been seeing my box fill up with all these, raving reviews for this game called Inside. Everybody's saying, you gotta go play this game, you gotta go play it, it's great. And to be honest, this was a game, I don't even remember seeing this or hearing anything about it until the game had actually released. Like, I was just reading reviews, and I'm like, hey, where did this game even come from? And so this isn't the type of game that I normally care for, so it's possible that I saw it and I just didn't, it just didn't leave a lasting impression with me. But last night I decided to try it out to find out why so many people are saying you gotta buy this game or try it out. So Inside is a puzzle platformer. It's made by the creators from Limbo, which was a game that was pretty successful, but I'll be honest with you, I played Limbo for like 15 minutes, turned it off, never touched it again. So I didn't go into this game with a whole lot of high expectations. The one thing that did kind of draw me in though with this game is kind of like this dystopian setting where it appears like the government or whoever's in charge has sort of enslaved most of the population other than these scientists. And so these scientists are carrying out like really screwed up, strange experiments. At least that's how I interpreted it. And I guess we can kind of start with that point right there, because there is no quote-unquote story in this game since there's no dialogue that's ever spoken, and it's kind of up to the player to kind of draw their own interpretations about, what they just experienced. And naturally, some people are going to walk away with that as sort of a negative. Others are going to see that as a positive because it's unique and you can walk away with a lot of different feelings, a lot of different interpretations. The overall atmosphere and graphics are really well done. It's certainly pleasing to the eye. Now, I started playing this game around midnight. And for starters, I do think this is sort of a game that is best played at night. I usually don't recommend that in any of my reviews. I don't think I've ever recommended that before. But I think you really need to play this at night. Not gonna lie, this is kind of creepy. And I know looking at the screen you may not get those vibes, but if you play it by yourself late at night, I at least felt a little bit creeped out by this game, and I consider that a good thing because I don't really get to experience that a whole lot in many games, and definitely didn't expect that sort of reaction going into it. I mean, there's really just a whole lot of downright weird shit going on in this game. Like, there's really no other way you can put it. So this is a puzzle platformer, so of course you're going to encounter a lot of puzzles, the vast majority of which I thought were actually done pretty well. Like, they fit well, I thought, with the gameplay. There weren't that many that felt just completely out of place or just kind of forced upon you. And I was proud of myself because I didn't have to look up any guides and I was able to figure everything out on my own. There were probably 2 or 3 puzzles that had me stumped for like, 4 or 5 minutes where I'm trying to figure out, what do I do right here? How do I get that going? So the problem with a lot of platforms, or not a lot of platforms, but a lot of puzzle games is that a lot of the puzzles start to feel repetitive. But I will say that within this game, I didn't really get that feeling. Like, I felt they were all pretty much well done. So I started playing this game at midnight, and I was watching the credits by 3:30. So for starters, I feel like crap today because I was staying up that late playing that game. But I actually kind of felt compelled to just keep playing. Like, I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to go ahead and get to the end of it. I had heard that it was already kind of a short game, so I was kind of wanting to see where the game went. I didn't want to stop and pick it back up later. But I would say that's probably one of the biggest gripes with this game is its length. Now, don't get me wrong. Those 3.5 hours were extremely enjoyable, and I'm definitely glad that I played it. And to be honest, I'm not sure that I would want it to last much longer than what it did, because if it continues on, I'm afraid that it would run into issues where it would become repetitive and so forth. So overall, I do think that this game really does deserve a lot of the praise that it's receiving from the fan base and also from the media. It's graphically and atmospherically a great looking game. Its puzzles are challenging, but it's not so difficult that it would turn off a lot of people. And it gave me the creeps, which is something I rarely feel in a game. The cons could be the story or the fact that you interpret it yourself, which again isn't going to be a universal con. Some people are going to really like that aspect of this game. And then the other con would be the length, which I know that I said I felt like the length was just about right and I wouldn't want it to go on for much further. But having said that, I still think a game needs to be priced according to that. And so this game is $20, and I'm not saying don't buy it for $20 because I know a lot of people who did and they felt very satisfied with their purchase. But I'm saying that I feel like $10 or $15 would be a much better value for this game. And I may go back and try to find some of the hidden areas. I'm not sure if I will or not. But even if I do, I'm not sure that this is the type of game that a lot of people are going to go back and replay. I actually think that very few people will want to go back and replay this game. Not saying everybody, but I'm saying the vast majority of people, they'll probably play it once and they're probably going to be done with it. So $20 to me feels a little steep in my opinion. And I know this part of the review always causes controversy because people are always like, well, Dragon, for $20 you can go eat one meal, or, you can go to the movies and watch an hour-and-a-half movie and spend that much. So yeah, you're right. Some people will think $20 is a steal for this game. I'm just basing this off my own experiences, off my own history, and I know what I've gotten in the past for the same amount of money in a game. So it's not finite, it's my opinion, and in my opinion, play this game. I think it's a great game, but wait for it to drop in price a little bit. That does it for me, The Red Dragon. Post your thoughts on Inside below. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.